Hey guys, I'm Rehane, and in this tutorial I will show you how we can use the hilt in our project. The first video is about the fundamental of hilts, and I will talk about each annotation with a small example. We will work with two real projects in two features video and use hilt in them. The first project will be about hilt beside room database, and the second one will be about using hilt with retrofit. So let's start. Okay, what is hilt? What is dependency injection, or in short DI? What is Dagger? Okay, let me answer this question. In software engineering, dependency injection is a design pattern in which an object or function receives other objects or functions that it depends on. Okay, the purpose of dependency injection is to separate the kernels of constructing objects from using them. Dagger is always the leader when it comes to DI in Android. However, setting up Dagger requires a lot of extra code and quite complex. The hilt was introduced as a solution to this problem. Dagger-Hilt or hilt retains all the advantages of the original Dagger by simplifying the process and reducing unnecessary steps. Hilt provides containers for every Android class in your project, in your Android application, and managing their life cycle automatically. And guys, please, this video will be long since I have covered almost everything about hilt. You need to understand the concept completely, so don't skip any point. Okay guys, I would like to implement a simple use case. In this use case, we will use these all annotation of hilt and to handle dependency injection. So that you can easily understand the purpose of each annotation. The first annotation, by using this annotation, your application class can have a member injection. For example, field or method injection. Assigned hilt Android app will create the component class and link all the module classes for you. The hilt framework will create a base class with the name hilt_my_app for your project when you build it for the first time. You do not need to extend the base directly because it will automatically create the annotate class, for example, my app. And the next step is adding this class into our Android manifest file, like that. Here you can see in the application tag, I put it Android name and put my app class here. The second annotation is Android entry point. This annotation can inject members into Android components such as activity, fragment, view, service, and broadcast receiver. When you do not annotation Android component with @sign Android entry point, you cannot inject any field or method. Hilt currently support the following Android classes, as you can see here in the slide: activity, fragment, view, service, and broadcast receiver. Annotationing an Android class with Android entry point requires annotating all Android classes that depend on it. Whenever you annotate a fragment, you must also annotate any activities where that fragment is used. So important, guys. Okay, here you can see how we can use Android entry point for activity. And here for fragment, In fact, there is no difference. Just put this annotate before your fragment class, or here before your main activity or other activity class. Let's go to another annotation. View model inject. This annotation tells Hilt how to provide instance of architect component view model. Add view model inject is not from the Hilt framework, but from the Hilt supported Jetpack library, which signals the Jetpack that the view model is ready for injection. This annotation is specifically designed for the view model component. Here we have at inject. When a constructor is annotated with at inject in your project, it becomes available as a dependency everywhere. Here you can see. For example, you can assume in these classes, in constructor part, I use at inject, and now I can use this class in other class like activity, like fragment. I can use this class with this annotation, with inject annotation, and I can access to this class. And the other annotation that we use a lot about module, we can create a class using drag modules annotation, in which we can put all the objects a framework needs in that class. Don't worry guys, I will show you totally in the real project in about database or about retrofit. We will work with this annotation. Okay. The other annotation, and so important for dependency injection with Hilt, is provider. Provider is not enough for the framework to fetch dependency object when we create a class annotation by module. The framework will recognize this method as a dependency object provider if it is annotated with the provide annotation, like this. This example comes from a retrofit project, and guys, you will see how we can create this function like that and use it. And the other annotation that we used is installing. You already know that the class with the module annotation is used to provide the dependency objects. By adding this annotation, we are restricting the use of the depend object provided by this module class to a particular Android component. Hilt provides 7 components that are compatible with the installing. The module annotation on a class tells the Hilt framework that the depends object it provides may be injected and made available only during the lifetime of the specific component, a specific component name in the installing annotation. And here you can see these 7 components. The first one is application component, present for the lifetime of the application. The second one is activity component, present for the lifetime of the activity. Number 3, activity retained component, present for the lifetime of a configuration surviving activity or surviving orientation change, just like the view model. The 4, fragment component, present for the lifetime of the fragment. Service component, present for the lifetime of the service. And view component, present of the lifetime of the view that is directly inside an activity. And the last one, view with fragment component present for the lifetime of the view inside the fragment. Okay guys, let's use the hilt into a simple sample and real project. So let me create an Android Studio project and I will bet. Here I have a new project, and here I just want to show you how we can use all these annotation in a simple project. So the first step that we should to do here in this Gradle module level file, we should add some class path here, guys. Okay, let me copy and paste it. Yes, and go to build Gradle app level module file. Guys, there is a important point. Here we have a few things to check and configure. So first of all, please do check that you have Java 1.8 here. Here inside the Android, you have also compiler option. So make sure you have that. Also, make sure you have Kotlin option, as I said before about Java version. Okay, here I want to add a dependency about Hilt. So in dependencies part, I add these dependency. And the last step in this file, I should add some plugin in this plugin part. So let me add it. The first one is about cat, and the second one is about hilt. Okay, so that is all we need to do. Go ahead and sync it. And guys, if you got an error here, it means you just typed something incorrectly or pasted it in the wrong place. Make sure, please, you can build and just check that hilt is set up quickly. Okay. Here our sync is finished and successfully. The second step, I should create my application class. So let me do it here and put the name. I want to choose my app. And here should extend from application class. Yes. And the really important point, I should add annotation. Hilt Android app, the first one. And also I should add this class into my Android manifest file. So here, open it, and here you can use this tag, Android name, and as you can see, show me my application class, and select it. Okay, great. So far, so good. And the next step, I should add here in my main activity, Android entry point annotation. As I said before, Android entry point is basically the entry point for your dependency. You want to tell Hilt where you want your dependency to be injected. So that is where the Android entry point come in. The defined where the dependency will be provided. Obviously, you can provide them in multi places. So let me add it. Okay, great, just like that. The main point it does is to try to standardize injection functionally. That means it wants to eliminate as many components as possible. And the Android entry point will automatically construct those dependency and components for you. So you don't have to bother about manually making these. Importantly, if you annotate a class, you must also annotate all the classes that rely on it. As I said before, for example, if you annotate a fragment with an Android entry point and it contains dependency, you must also annotate the activity or activities that use that fragment. Now let me create some simple classes and talk about injection and about constructor and how we can use it. Here I want to add some classes. Just let me copy the name and paste it here. And the second one, guys, I just want to give you a concept of hold the hilt. And in the next project, I mean in the two next project, you will work with a really real project. Okay. Here in this class, I'm gonna to use dependency injection to provide this database service to the dependency graph. How? Like this. Here put inject and put a constructor empty. And create a function message here. The type should be a string. And inside this function, for example, I want to set a log. Okay, log.d, for example. Yeah. Okay, guys, here I want to have a tag, but I forgot to wrote here. Okay, it's good. And I can import. Yeah, it's good. Yes, I want to put this one here. And call my parameter. Yeah, it's good. And about the second one, let me okay, here again at and call constructor. And here inside the constructor, I want to create a variable from my previous class. So how we can do it? I can do it like that. Okay, and inside this class, I want to have a function, again log, and here I want to have a parameter as a string. And inside this function, I want to have another log. Okay, tag, and let me import. Yes, and okay, let me copy the name of the class, put it here, and put it my parameter here. So, and guys, here I can use data series and call the method inside this class and put the message here again. So that is the constructor injection. We are not going to run this yet because we need another concept and we need to inject this database adapter into some place to use it, and that is field injection. Let's go back into my main activity, and here as I show you in the slide, here I can call inject, and then I can access into my database adapter class. Okay, yes, this one. I injected the database adapter into the main activity, which is an Android entry point already. So let's run and see what happened in the logcat. Okay guys, here you can see our look at the output. So that is the way it's work. And here our project is done. So if you are new in the channel, please subscribe my channel and like my video. And also, if you have any question, don't hesitate and ask me in the comment section. Have a nice day, guys. See you in the next video.